Steve Post from Motor Racing Network here at the Racing Electronics Display. When we talk about racing hotbeds across the country, I know in the sprint car world we talk about Central Pennsylvania and just North Carolina for NASCAR. Wisconsin is an incredible state for super late model racing, and Ty Fredrickson joins it. He's a second generation or further than that?
I think it's second.
Okay, second generation. I didn't even think about your grandpapa or anyone else. Ty Fredrickson joins us here in the RE booth. Hey man, how are you? How's the show?
It's going great. I'm doing really good. How about you?
I am fantastic, okay? I brought in the Wisconsin angle because we're here, what are we on, Friday morning. But last night you were in Charlotte, North Carolina. What were you doing in Charlotte, North Carolina?
I had the Kwiecki Driver Development Program banquet last night, and I actually won the program, so we were in there for the banquet, and I flew out at 4 a.m. this morning to come here.
No doubt about it. What does that mean to you, a Wisconsin racer, the Kwiecki Driver Development? What does that mean to you, not only to participate in it, but to ultimately win it?
Yeah, to carry on Alan's legacy and where he grew up grassroots racing. And I also got to hear a bunch of the stories from the race fans and the crew guys he had that were at the races in Wisconsin. So it's a great bonding time for you or for me and some of the fans, and it was just a great overall racing in Wisconsin.
You've been born in this, and your father has raced in Wisconsin for years and years, but does it help you kind of get a perspective as to just how big racing, going back to Alan Kwiecki, going back to Dick Trickle, going back to those guys that were long before your time, does it kind of give you a little bit of perspective on overall racing in Wisconsin?
Yeah, the best race car drivers, I believe, come out of Wisconsin, and like Ty Majeski, Alan Kwiecki, Dick Trickle, all those guys are some of the best to ever do it. So Wisconsin generates really good race car drivers, and hopefully I can be a really good one.
No doubt about it. Ty Majeski, our Truck Series champion, did such a great job as well. So your dad Dan has such an amazing career and so much success. Was this something that you always tended to figure you would do, just follow in your dad's footsteps?
So I played baseball and basketball, and I would go in the pits with my dad and watch him race, and I thought it was always super cool. And then I drove a quarter midget for the first time, and then I quit baseball and basketball and started racing quarter midgets, and it's been racing ever since.
It was hands off. It was done there. So how did you get from quarter midgets to super late models?
So I raced quarter midgets part-time for like 2 or 3 years, and I moved up to full-time quarter midgets for 2 years, won the track championship both seasons, and then I moved up to Legends car, raced that for a winter down south. I won 5 races and then moved into pro late models, raced about 8 times in 2023, and then 2024 raced 41 times in a super late model and won 12 of them.
Oh, I know, man. Your numbers are spectacular, that's for sure, and just really rolling along. So where does this? Where do we head going forward here with this thing? What's the plan for 2025?
I think we're going to do some of the same schedule, but I think I'm going to try to do more of the ASA Stars races because they have really great drivers in that series, and I just love to go and compete and get a lot of experience. And I think we're going to try to do the Bigley and the Derby too. So definitely do a lot harder races.
What have you seen with this, running the local tracks and everything like that, getting a chance? It just seems to me like the natural evolution to get out with the ASA National Tour, and there's a couple races in Wisconsin as well. That's got to be good to have a next stepping stone out there for you.
Oh yeah, so super late models, I think it's the best experience you could get in a race car. It's always super hard and the competition's really good, and like I said, I think the best drivers come out of Wisconsin in super late models, and everybody who races them is super good in Wisconsin. The competition is really high, and I just got a bunch of seat time this season, and hopefully it can make it pay off down south in 2025.
Absolutely, that sounds really, really good as far as it goes. Ultimately, is there a long-term goal of where you'd like to take this racing career?
NASCAR Cup champion. That's I got to cross that off the list.
There we go. It's just as easy as that. NASCAR Cup champion, that's for sure. Of course, yeah, the Wisconsin history is really, really cool. Ty, it's been great to hang out with you. Appreciate the time. Thanks for dropping by here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
There we go. Ty Fredrickson joining us here in the Racing Electronics Display, all part of PRI. He's right. A lot of great race car drivers out of the state of Wisconsin.